Monday, February the 22nd, 2021. You are watching the news on DBS television. Let's begin the news by giving you our top stories for tonight. Barely 2 months after taking part or witnessing a tragic incident that took the lives of over 37 Cameroonians, the travel agency Avenir Voyage has again been in another accident that this time around has claimed the lives of over 5 Cameroonians in the west region of Cameroon. Another tragic incident witnessed this time in the town of Nkongsamba in the littoral region, where the populations awoke to the lifeless bodies of 2 of their own people. Many reasons are advanced for this death, but investigations have been launched to find out more. And civil servants and civil administrators in Cameroon go under our radars today as we hand our microphones to inhabitants of the town of Yaoundé who give us their appraisal of the services in Cameroon. These are our top stories for tonight. Stay with us and get the details after the short break. Good evening and thanks for keeping the rendezvous for this edition of the newscast in the English language here from our studios live on DBS television. I am Cynthia Nguemo. In this news today, we begin with a tragic story where at least 5 Cameroonians are confirmed to have died from a fatal road accident that occurred at the Bangante-Fumbot Highway in the west region of Cameroon. The accident occurred early this Monday, February 22, with a bus belonging to Avenir Voyage, which reportedly hit another vehicle in a head-on collision. Aside from the 5 deaths counted, 27 other persons are seriously injured and were rushed to a nearby hospital. Recall that the same travel agency, which is Avenir Voyage, was involved in another tragic accident on December 27, 2020 that claimed at least 40 lives, for which the agency received a 1-month suspension. In the following excerpt, the SDO for Noun Division, Donatien comes back to the happenings of the accident and assures Cameroonians that survivors are in good hands. He spoke to our West Regional correspondent, Alexis Yangwa. Let's listen.
This night, around the place called the village called Makade, that sad accident occurred. The bus belonging to Avenir Agency again, a failure of the technical system somewhere, and the driver could not make it, and they found themselves inside the deep valley. So we have registered so far 5 deaths, among them a baby of 9 months. We are very, very, very disappointed, and the medical team is taking care. Some of very delicate cases have been brought to the regional hospital at Fumban. So they are going on, all the authorities are around to make sure that let's save the victims. So the situation is on control, and they find themselves inside the deep valley.
Inhabitants of Nkongsamba in the littoral region of Cameroon also awoke this morning with a taste of sadness after they discovered the lifeless bodies of 2 men, one in Lele Cité de Palmier neighborhood and the other at Carrefour Masanga in Nkongsamba 1. The shocked population who discovered the first corpse early this morning suspect his death to be the doing of armed bandits whom they say murdered the commercial motorbike rider to take his bike. The second man supposedly died after severe vomiting, which they blame on poison. For both deaths, investigations have been opened to dig into the circumstances that led to the loss of the 2 young lives. In another news story, the governor of the Littoral Region, Samuel Dieudonné Ivaha Diboah, has called on stakeholders of the commercial motorbike riding sector to work hand in hand with administrators in order to ensure security in this sector of activity. He was speaking with bike riders in a meeting today in his office in Bonanjo in Douala. Mange Venasius took part in that meeting and now he reports.
Meeting with commercial motorbike riders, Monday, February 22, 2021, the regional governor, Samuel Dieudonné Ivaha Diboah, accompanied by other administrators in the city, raised the issue at hand. The process of regularizing the sector has experienced some setbacks. The governor reiterated that Douala is and will not be the center of disorder, especially for foreigners. He indicated that it is not acceptable for anyone to exercise in the sector without identification papers. This has been a source of disorder within the sector.
The problem of motorbicycle in the city of Douala is a huge one because we are seeing every day people that are buying bicycles without any the identity piece in their pocket. So some are just making violences. The other one are just thieves people. But with the syndicates, we have made an effort to ask everybody to go and make the file so that it can be identified and work in a peace manner.
According to the national coordinator of Sinamotak, Guy Bruno Yumsi, since 2008, activities of commercial motorbike riders in Cameroon have been organized, and the governor has the duty to fight clandestine transportation within the region. Being a very sensitive sector, Guy Bruno believes that a collective effort will help to stamp out dangerous elements from among them. Thus will go a long way to assure the security of the population.
Mayor of Douala City and the other mayors and people in charge of managing this area have been summoned to come and work together so that by the time we are going to host the CAN tournament, we have to see that our city has people that are disciplined and wearing clothes so that our population has to be secured in their movements.
And so the population should also cooperate with the authorities for this to succeed.
And the Director General of ELECAM, Eric Esuse, is said to have addressed a correspondence to regional delegates in the country in order for them to conduct and submit within a week proposals for amendments to the law on the electoral code in Cameroon. Political actors in the city are said to be divided on the issue, while others in the likes of Honorable Jean-Michel Niche of the SDF party disagree with the fact that the correspondence was not intended for political parties, since he has not received any information on such. Some welcome the idea as being timely to ignite the process of national reconciliation. This is the case for Dr. Nick Ngwangyang, a political analyst and social entrepreneur, as he highlights some issues to be tackled when revising the code. Here is an excerpt as selected by Mange Venasius.
It's very, very important to have some changes. You know, when you build a house, there comes a time when you must change a couple of things. You must repaint and do you cannot just have something that is static. You know, that revision is very, very important because there have been lots of complaints from other political parties, and we had seen some shortcomings in those. And some of the shortcomings that you might want to mention, for instance, you know, there should be a limitation of the presidential terms. of office. There should be, a term of office should be probably 5 years, renewable only once. A Francophone can be the president for 10 years. When the thing comes around again, it should be an Anglophone for 10 years, and we keep doing that. That would go a long way to build peace. And then we can introduce the post of a vice president. So if an Anglophone is the president, the vice president is from East Cameroon, and then you drop the post of prime minister. And we can say that if the president is from West Cameroon or the northwest southwest region of the country, or the English-speaking region of the country, the president of the National Assembly and the vice president should come from the other side. These are things that would inject in there, and it would change a lot in our political lives, because you see there's been a lot of fighting each other just because we don't give others space. And we probably can say that we have 350 political parties in the country, and that's actually just bullshit. Even if we had 500, it wouldn't mean that our democracy is better by the number of political parties we have. So I'm looking forward to, if we actually change and put in the new electoral code. And I think it will be consensual in the sense that it's not only people of Elekam who have ideas to say. All those people, all those intellectuals, professors, political leaders, SDF, MRC, everybody, Cabral, everybody should bring their ideas to the table, so we come out with an acceptable electoral code that is consensual.
Let's now get the appraisal of some Cameroonians in the town of Yaoundé regarding the quality of services offered by civil administrators, civil servants, and some ministries in Cameroon. Many hold the opinion that there has been some improvement in the quality of civil services in the country, though much is still to be done in order to ensure that they do away with malpractices. Let's get this with Ate Bonaventure.
Civil servants in Cameroon occupy the highest percentage of the working population. They are employed and paid by the government and have as task to serve the public irrespective of their social, political, or cultural background. The public service in recent years has been marred by ills such as corruption, tribalism, nepotism, and influence peddling. According to some Cameroonians, the recent reforms and sensitization has led to a change of mentality.
There are some civil servants that are welcoming. There are some that are not welcoming. But in general, I can say no, the mentality are trying to change. People are changing their mentalities, and I think they are making a great step forward. And nowadays, I think with the help of technology and all what is going on, they know that if they misbehave, maybe their name can be found on some major platforms. So they are very skeptical, and sometimes they are taking precautions to do their best to help the Cameroonians that are coming for their services.
Though all habits die hard, many believe the computerization of the public service system has reduced the rate of malpractices by public servants.
There are some services when you reach there, you appreciate the service, and when you go to another service, you are very disappointed.
And what are you expecting from civil servants?
My expectation is that try to do more, because everybody is a servant for somebody. When you go somewhere and they serve you easily, quickly, it gives you the occasion to go and serve yourself or other men in other service.
Users of public service are still looking forward to meeting a corruption-free public servant doing their job diligently without any complex or influence.
Now, in the Adamawa region of the country, some 500 young Cameroonians out of 1,500 have been declared apt for recruitment as commandos into the Rapid Intervention Battalion B. The recruitment exercise took place over the weekend under the watchful eyes and supervision of the Governor, Kyodadi Tegeke-Buka. Nde Vanessa Shuyong has the details.
Unlike the other 5 administrative regions of Cameroon who have already carried out the 2021 recruitment into the Rapid Intervention Battalion, the Adamawa region has just ended its own phase, with all requirements being fulfilled. The aspirants were subjected to a 20-kilometer race, with each carrying a 20-kilogram bag of sand.
This morning we've done the 20-kilometer race with 20-kilogram load. Now the candidates went to the 10 kilometers race. So in the afternoon they will be dealing with the electrical poles. We will divide them into different teams. There will be about 10 to 15 according to the size of the poles that they will carry on about 4 kilometers.
1 hour 40 minutes was the time needed for these candidates to get to the final stage, a stage in which the first candidate was dressed with a jersey by the governor of the Adamawa region, recognizing their patriotism to serve the nation.
I am particularly happy because those young guys are eager to join our national army to go and show proof of their talents on the field, mostly to fight against insecurity, this rampant insecurity we know in Cameroon, in our country. I think I want to wish them good luck and to congratulate those who have been selected.
The remaining 499 candidates also received jerseys, qualifying them for the pre-selection of the next challenging stage, notably a race of 10 km and lifting of an electric pole, among others. It is important to note that this pre-selection took place under strict medical checkup and follow-up during the competition to be sure the candidates were fit to undergo their assigned task.
Actually, we are doing, first of all, a medical checkup to be sure that the candidates are fit to undergo the first physical exams, which consists of a run with 20 kilograms for 20 kilometers. During that race, we are supposed to do the medical check to be sure that everybody is fine. For our unit here, we have 5 ambulances, 7 medical doctors. Among them, we have 2 specialists, 1 in reanimation, and another one in general. The other ones are general practitioners.
1,500 youths opened the competition and 500 proved apt for the national selection.
And now we talk news out of the Cameroonian borders. In Nigeria, an Air Force passenger plane crash has led to the death of some 7 people outside the Abuja airport. Following the tragedy, President Muhammadu Buhari has announced or has addressed condolences to the bereaved families, while investigations have been opened. And over in Niger, run-off presidential elections took place yesterday, Sunday, after the December elections in which no candidate got the absolute majority needed for victory. And following the election, 7 workers of the Electoral Commission were killed in a bomb attack in the southwest of the country. Get details of this in the following Africa Roundup page with our intern Rogiatu Buba.
7 people have died in Nigeria following a passenger plane crash in outside Abuja airport. This occurred after a small passenger airplane reported engine failure. The plane was scheduled to conduct a mission in line with an operation to rescue dozens of people adopted from a school in nearby Niger State. President Muhammadu Buhari sent his expression of sympathy to the Air Force and families of the victims. The smell of burning chemicals lingered in the air, but no fire or smoke were visible. The Air Force did not provide the identities of those killed in the crash. The Nigerian Minister of Aviation, Sirika Hadi, also confirmed the accident and called on Nigerians to remain calm and wait for the outcome of investigation by the military. Voters in Niger cast ballots Sunday in a presidential runoff election meant to return the West African nation to civilian rule after last year's military coup that ousted Muhammadu Tadza as president. The runoff vote is said to be the country's first peaceful transition of power since independence 60 years ago. Mohamed Bazoum, an ally of incumbent President Muhammadu Issoufou, received 39% of votes, in the first round, as he now faces a single opponent, Muhammad Usman, who ruled from 1993 to 1996. Following the vote, 7 election workers were killed after their vehicle hit a landmine in the Tillaberi region in the country's southwest. Another 3 workers of the commission were injured. The West African country regularly suffers attacks by Islamist militants and had stepped up security to protect the poll.
That brings us to the end of today's edition of the news on DBS Television. Thank you for watching. We do hope to see you when we return tomorrow, same time, same TV station. Good night and keep enjoying our programs.